Okay, so sorry for the delay, guys. Because apparently now it's on. The live stream is now on. Okay. Just to confirm, is everything that we said earlier captured? Okay, all right, so we'll begin again. Jaden, I think for now you can start first so that you guys can refresh again. All right, so a very good afternoon to everyone that's present with us today and also on the live stream. Before we proceed to the first debating session of MUSA General Elections 2024, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Saren and I'm the returning officer of MUSA General Elections 2024. And here with us today is the representative of School of Information Technology. We have two pairs of candidates. The first pair of candidate is Tyler Tan and also Chu Hui Lim. And another candidate is Jaden Wong Jiajun. So without further ado, let's listen to the opening statement from these candidates where they will introduce themselves and also the manifestos they have for the student community. So we'll begin with Mr. Jaden Wong Jiajun first. All right, so please take over.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Everyone in the audience and also the stream. So my name is Wong Jiajun, Jaden, and I'm currently a Year 2 Sem 1 student for SYT, Advanced Computer Science. So prior to joining this election, I have a wide variety of experiences. Firstly, secretary of a high school competitive choir team. Then I'm also a multi-student council member during my foundation year. And I'm currently also a subcommittee for the School of IT, which allows me to have great insight on how events are run and also the engagement and the effectiveness of each event ran throughout this year. So, as said in my manifesto, it's quite clear that I want communication, collaborative events, and also competitions. So, communication. From what I've seen currently and throughout my experiences, that transparency and publicness is very important, as there were some issues last year that can be improved. And also for the events, we held a wide variety of events, and from prior experiences and engagement, I've noticed that some events are done differently and could have been done better, and collaboration really allows SOIT students to mix around with new people from different faculties. Then as for competitions, it's really shown through Hello Coders and also Code Start competition that these events are very personal, very engaged, very useful for the students, that everyone actually gave good feedback during the last day of the events. When I was there, I joined Hello Coders too. Personally, I've learned a lot and grown a lot throughout the whole event, understanding how the school system works and how we are expected to go through the years. So with all this in mind, this is why I'm running for SOIT male rep. Thanks.
All right, so that's the opening statement from Jaden. Now we'll proceed with the opening statement from Tyler and also Chu Hui Lim.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyler Tan. I'm currently a Year 2 Semester 2 student in Monash School of IT, and I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Computer Science in Data Science. Yeah, so together with Chu Hui, we're independent runners to be School of IT representatives for year 2025.
Hello, my name is Chu Hui, and I'm currently a Year 2 Semester 1 student majoring in Advanced Computer Science. I'm running alongside Tyler to be the School of IT representatives. Together, we are focusing on three key parts: career development, networking opportunities, and student support. Both of us are confident that we can do well in the role. As for me, I've participated in many events and clubs during my free time, which exposed me to how an event should work and be organized. At university, I've served as a SSLC representative last semester, currently a past tutor and also campus ambassador for an international. So this experience has given me valuable skills in communication and collaboration in order for me to work effectively with others.
Right, as for me, I'm currently a full scholar in Monash. I have lots of leadership experience under my belt, such as I was the organizing chairman for an international cultural exchange program with students from 200 students from over 6 countries. I'm also a committee member of one of the largest alumni networks in Malaysia. I've taken up positions in SOIT, in Monash University Volunteer Program. I've also been
Many students are not exposed to technical skills that aren't covered in our units. Therefore, we aim to provide more hands-on workshops, personal projects, and career opportunities to better prepare students for the professional world. So this will not only help them add more personal projects to their resume, but also expose them to different aspects of computer science. I believe this will also help them discover their true interests within the field.
Okay, next. So SOIT students ourselves, we also understand the importance of having connections in this industry. So for our next manifesto, it will be creating more networking opportunities for all SOIT students. So this will allow us to bridge the gap between not only students with students, but also students with professionals. And we are sure that by allowing SOIT students to foster more connections, it will prepare them better for the future in the industry. And for our last manifesto, it will be student support. So we will be providing full support and ensuring open communication to all SOIT students. We promise to be open to all kinds of feedback through any platform that's suitable for the students. And we promise to be transparent and convey all our messages clearly to everyone. So these are our manifestos for running for School of IT Rep. And yeah, thank you.
All right, so that is the conclusion of the opening statement from the candidates. Now we'll proceed with the Q&A sessions by the current office bearers. So let's welcome the current representative of School of Information and Technology, Diana and also Shengji, to the stage.
Okay, so yeah, just a quick introduction just in case. So my name is Sheng Jie, I'm the current SOIT male representative, and this is Diana, the current female SOIT representative. So yeah, we will fire away with the questions. So the first one is for Tyler and Chiu Hui. So based on your manifesto, you guys said that you will provide more hands-on workshops and personal projects, right? So how do you plan to implement those hands-on workshops to help students prepare for the professional world?
Thank you for the question. So since there are various areas in computer science like front-end development, back-end development, or mobile development, data analytics, so on, we plan to have diverse workshops that will, so people with different interests can join different ones. We plan to collaborate with other clubs and also look for people with prior experience to conduct these workshops. So this will give students the chance to build simple personal projects that they can extend on and use in their resumes. For example, for backend, we could maybe have a Spring Boot workshop. And I know that it's a big bonus if you know Spring Boot when applying for internship, or maybe about Java concurrency, React, or Flutter. Since the workshop are meant to be an introductory purpose, we will ask the students to use what they have learned in the workshop and extend on after the workshop. So in this way, everyone can have different projects to showcase.
All right, thank you for the answer.
Okay, for the next question, this is for Jaden. So in your manifesto, you mentioned that you would like to organize some events that's cross-faculty, right? So how do you plan to foster a collaborative community that allows students from different faculties to network and exchange ideas? Like what kind of cross-faculty events do you envision?
All right, so currently I've been through events like, example, a career fair and workshop. Career fair is something quite similar to what I have in mind, where we are collaborating with School of Engineering. That's what we did last year. And from what I have in mind is more of different connections of School of Engineering, MUMTech, School of IT, maybe even School of Science. Especially now when I am a party with Equitas, I've made connections with different people from different faculties, which allows me to plan and start thinking of events where I can possibly organize with them. Yeah, so this gives me a slight idea of what I want, and also being in educators allows me to have this wide variety of communications with people from different faculty. Yeah.
Then can I know what steps will you take to ensure that all the students from different academic disciplines will feel comfortable and welcome in this type of events?
All right, so for all these type of event, it won't always just be solely based on School of IT. As example, engineering, School of Engineering, we have relevant topics like software engineering, which allows us to connect to one another through all these small things. And moreover, School of IT isn't just all about technical skills on coding. Like, we should actually branch out to more on communication and learn all these skills, which is very relevant in the working world, where we need to communicate, we need to plan, we need to adapt to different people around us. So having events, maybe like distress nights, which allows everyone, not just School of IT and School of Engineering, and also workshops, which is specific towards software, like allows School of IT and Engineering to connect and be relevant. Yeah.
All right, so for the next question, again, it's for Tyler and Chiu Hui. So referring to the hands-on workshop question just now, so how would you ensure that these workshops would reach all students far and wide, even though for those who might not actively seek out, like, for example, you know that in SOIT there are quite a lot of introverts. So how would you ensure that these opportunities would reach them?
So we will spread the information through multiple channels. For example, the social media accounts like Instagram, and also maybe emails. And we're also planning to have a WhatsApp group. It's like the broadcast channel. For example, it will be a group for main group for all SOIT students, and then some subgroup for students of different year level or batch. So in this case, you can just spread what events are there in the group. And for bigger events, we can also spread information in the class or through posters in a campus.
So yeah, just one point I wanted to add on. So actually, a WhatsApp group isn't allowed lah. So, but you guys can use the Discord channel. It serves the same purpose. All right. So yeah, thanks for the answer. So one more question. Can you guys share a time where you have faced a difficult issue that required resolving, and how would you apply that experience to this role as the SOIT representative?
Okay, maybe I'll take this question. So as mentioned previously, I have lots of experience dealing with events and dealing with a team. So previously, once I was the organizing chairman for an international event. It had students from over 6 countries, and we had more than 200 participants. So it was a really large-scale event. And I was the organizing chairman, so I was the leader of the team. And during this event, we had to deal with a lot of unforeseen changes, such as schedule delays, changes in the weather, and we also had to meet the requirements of many parties, such as students, teachers, and also like third-party companies. So there are a lot of challenges, but how me and my team got through it is by being adaptable. And whenever we had any decisions, we'll make sure to convey it clearly to everyone. And yeah, it's problem-solving skills and being adaptable to different environments and different changes in your plans. So these experiences, I'm sure, that have prepared me to take on this role, because in SOIT, I'm sure that many things don't go our way, especially when organizing and handling events. So by being adaptable, and I'm confident that my problem-solving skills, as well as Chiu Hui, will allow us to navigate through these challenges.
All right, thanks for the answer.
Okay, so for Jaden, in your manifesto, you also mentioned that you'll be organizing more hackathons and coding competitions, right? How would you encourage students to participate in this competition, especially those who may feel intimidated or unsure about their skills?
All right. So something like Hello Coders, if everyone here remembers correctly, there's an event that's like Code Start, where it's a different genre, a different skill level, and different participators can join, where you are supposed to be only first year, first sem. So everyone is around the same skill ceiling, and we kind of expect to do something that's relevant, where there's a different skill level, there's a different year type of competition, so that people from different year can join. Like example, year 1 can join competitions, not just year 2 and year 3 dominating the whole competition. Yeah.
Okay, so seeing that these are actually already completed to an extent during this year, 2024, and you're a subcommittee, meaning that you've been involved in these initiatives already, what are the things that you are expecting more within your manifesto?
Yeah, the thing that I'm actually expecting more in my manifesto is the communication part, and also like the events where we are supposed to just go through everything. Yeah, so for the communication part, last year I've personally gone through an experience of the subject 1055, FIT 1055, where there was some miscommunication between students and the lecturers. But it wasn't handled quite well, as students approached the staff directly instead of going through the SSLC and going through the representatives, which is something that is quite expected when you fulfill the role. So that's something I want to improve on. As for events and collaborations has been done, but at a more laid-back style where not much networking was done, which is something I want to improve in also. Then as for competitions, yeah, it's quite similar. I just want to improve the overall experience of people that are joining the events.
Okay, so my next question is for Tyler and Chiu Hui. How would you foster open communication between the student body and the representatives to ensure that all the issues are addressed? And how will you balance transparency with ensuring that sensitive issues remain confidential?
So we will use the ESSFS feedback forms and also SSLC to ensure that the students' voice are heard. And if it involves like more sensitive issues or personal matters, we'll only discuss and resolve the issue with the relevant stakeholders. So we'll ensure that everything remains confidential.
Yeah, and we also want to emphasize open communication. So we want to make sure that whenever a student faces any difficulties or they have anything that they want to bring up, they can easily reach us through any platform that they think is more suitable. So we want to make sure that we are approachable and allow students of any year, no matter what problems they are facing, to approach us so that we can help them, because we have to act as the bridge between the teaching team and also the students.
Okay, so realistically, student concern can come in different forms, right? And sometimes not all concerns may be solid enough to be accepted by the faculty. How would you ensure that your resolution can be accepted by both the faculty and the students?
Okay, so in this case, I think we have to find a middle ground. So in all ways, at the end of the day, we are still representatives for the School of IT. So I believe that we should prioritize students' well-being the most. So we'll come up with a solution that we'll try to find a middle ground between the staff and also students, but we'll try to maximize the welfare of the students and make sure that they get as much benefit as possible, and try to propose that to the staff. And if that's acceptable, then that's great. But if not, we'll try to tone the requirements down a little bit, but still make sure that we can fulfill whatever the student needs, as long as it's within an acceptable range.
Okay, so next question for Jaden. So we know that this position is meant to be run with a partner, but it seems that you're planning to run alone in this candidacy. Could you talk us through on how you're planning to ensure that if you're selected, the effort being put out would be affected negatively?
All right. So I was supposed to run this with my friend Yang Shen, but she's currently in Australia. So due to certain circumstances, she's unable to be here. So right now I'm running alone, but as we know through what's going to happen later on, there's an interim which will help me fulfill the position till the by-election happens, where a new female rep is selected and you can go help me work throughout all these events and planning. So these events and planning, of course, will be done, and I will also ask help from Yang Xuan, which would most likely be an interim, as I will ask her for advice. I'm not really just working alone throughout this time, but if there's any issues or anything, I'm expected that I am gonna be planning my time well to like plan all these events beforehand. Like I'll be doing all the planning, the year prior to going through the semester, like how we did last year, and ensure that everything is roughly the same plan to make the event go well. And if there's any circumstances, changes need to be made, I have to adapt to it.
Okay, so last question for Tyler and Chui based on your manifesto is that it actually compromises of a lot of things that you guys would like to accomplish, such as the alumni engagement and all the career things. So, but we can see from the previous years that it's quite difficult to achieve everything that you promise. How would you manage expectations from the student given that you listed this many things to achieve?
So we're actually planning to plan everything over the break. So we'll try to achieve as many things that we set as possible, and we will also avoid like our events happen during the week where there are a lot of assignments, like maybe week 5 and week 12, because in that case, students will be a bit hard to join the events because they are busy with their assignments.
Yeah, so the main point is we want to plan everything early. So similar to what Jaden said, during the sem break, we'll make sure to lay out the whole event timeline of what we plan to do, and also leave spaces for some weeks where we might have like additional workshops or requests from other companies that approach us.
All right, so this question will be open to all of you. So as the SOIT representative, you will be the main point of support for all of the students at SOIT. So what mechanisms will you put in place to encourage students to reach out for support or feedback without feeling uncomfortable or being judged? Yeah, any one of you can start first. Yes.
Okay, so maybe I'll go first. So first things first, for new students, there's always the orientation week where the School of IT reps will come and introduce themselves and also a few things about School of IT to all the new students. So I think the main point we want to convey is that we have to be friendly and approachable and not try to establish a hierarchy or like superiority between students and also the reps. So we are not superior to any students. We are just here to represent the student body and also relay any messages or concerns that they have. And we have to properly inform them that we are here for them. Like we are here to make sure that they are cared for, and also we have to take care of their welfare. So yeah, the main point I want to convey is that we have to be approachable and not try to be a dictator. So yeah, so adding on to that, it might be something like School of IT, a cheat sheet, where we have a document consisting of any kind of questions regarding like internships or units or courses, so that people who are a little more shy can just refer to that document to find answers to their questions.
As for me, it's quite similar where I have to be more approachable. I have to allow students to know that I'm supporting them, I'm helping them. I'm not someone who is above anyone else and doing my own work where the world revolves around me. So what I will do, of course, is orientation is a very important time where we are telling everyone where help can be given, like SSLC, where they have a year rep representing their semester, and also open channels where they can text us easily, like Instagram, Discord, and also throughout the orientation and example like the Hello Coders event or Bike Buddies, we will allow help and we'll assign them mentors, especially for year 1, sem 1, where they can easily access their seniors for help. As I know, male representative or female representative, we aren't supposed to do everything ourselves. There are roles given to other people too, which allows easier communication, easier accessibility and all that. Yeah.
All right, thank you for the answers. So moving on to the next question is open for everyone as well. So balancing academic with leadership responsibilities can be demanding, like especially for Tyler, who got full scholarship, right, you said just now. So how do you plan to ensure that neither your studies nor your duties as a representative are compromised?
Again, maybe I'll answer this first. So throughout my high school and my pre-U, I've always been more of a person who joined a lot of different activities and took up many different roles and leadership positions. So throughout my high school and from my pre-U, I think I've gotten accustomed to this kind of lifestyle. Yeah, I know how to plan my time well. I know how to put aside time for work and put aside time for studies so that they won't interfere with each other. And in uni, in year one and also last semester, I've also taken up leadership positions in other clubs as well. And I've managed to balance my workload pretty well, and I did quite well in school. So I'm confident that taking up this role will not affect me in any way in my academics. And I'll also put priority on this position since if we will actually be able to take it, it will be entrusted to us upon by all the students. So this is a very important role that we must fulfill. So I'll definitely put priority on this SOIT rep, but I'll also manage my time well to have enough time for my studies.
All right. As for me, I've actually been like some walkthrough with Diana and Shengje too. I've actually asked questions throughout the semester on what is needed, what is expected, what is required for me to be a male rep. So throughout this semester, I kind of have a slight understanding on what is expected, what is done monthly, what is done weekly, what are the plannings needed, what are the issues possible. And also, I kind of bring this idea to my next semester, which will be, if I was able to take up this position, my next semester is more on more softer units, not the core units for the year, which allows me to spend more time understanding, spend more time learning, spend more time having a clear understanding of what is really being a male rep is. As I'm also human, I know that it's possible that this can affect my studies, but I've organized my time well enough to know that next semester I will be able to spend more time on this male rep position to learn and to understand and to do what I explained in my manifesto. Yeah, so this is my answer.
All right. Just to add on to your response, Jaden, you said next semester you're taking lighter load units. So what about the semester afterwards? What will be your plan if your units are more heavier, so to say?
Yeah, that's why I clarified that next semester will be a lot of learning, a lot of adapting, a lot of restructuring my whole idea on how my uni life is going to be. That's next semester is more of make everything natural, make all my work natural, make my flow natural to allow me to bring my ideas and bring my experiences to the next semester, allowing me to not need to specifically push all my time into learning, which allows me to just apply every knowledge that I learned for my next semester to my following semester. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So moving on, this is an open question as well. So what would be your strategy to continuously gather feedback from students regarding the success of your initiatives?
I will apply what I've learned throughout my last semester as a subcom, where I noticed that most events, we have a feedback form where we can just read through and understand, and we can find a way to improve. Especially when if I step into this position, I will be able to access all the feedback forms from previously and apply those things that are mentioned, those things that are brought up. And also, as me myself, I joined most of the events last semester. I myself have seen some of the things that can improve and some of the things that I find useful or can be repeated, allowing me to have this idea or these experiences to bring towards my position.
Yeah, so to answer this question, for us, similar to what Jaden said, a feedback form, of course, is a staple nowadays. So after every event, we'll definitely have a feedback form. But one thing I realized is that after attending so many events, sometimes things are a little bit difficult to convey in a feedback form. Like there are some things you want to say that you can't really put into like words like that you type out. So we are also planning to have like a little, maybe a 10 or 15 minutes duration after each event where we'll just stay back, like whether in the venue or outside the venue, where anyone is welcome to approach us to give any feedback that they want personally. Yeah, so with that, and in addition with the feedback form, and we'll also analyze all the feedback that was given to us previously in previous events that were previously organized, And we'll also have a post-mortem meeting with all the committees that were present during the event to discuss on any aspects that we can improve in the future.
Yeah, and we believe that with those these feedbacks, we can do well in the better in the following events.
Okay, so just two final questions for both sides. As a representative, what are the long-term goals and initiatives that you aim to establish that will benefit the students beyond your term in the office? Anyone can start first.
As what I've learned from you, I think that our work is not just through these 2 terms where we are doing it as a school rep. I think it leads on to what we are leaving behind, the information we are giving them, the help or like details and Google Drives, like example you have left me. All these information are accessible towards the next representative, which allows them to go do their job easier or more naturally. And also, we kind of can bring up new people to understand our roles, what we are actually doing, which is very important. And also, like the open channels, Discord, and also Instagram, emails. I think all these are things left behind from previous SEMs, which allows us to communicate with people better.
Yeah, so on how we're going to leave a legacy for the future batches of students. So through the workshops and events that were previously organized by the previous school reps, they've left a very big impact on all the students, including us. And we are dedicated to continue organizing these events to benefit students in the future. But also things that I mentioned previously, like having a SOIT cheat sheet, like things like this where we prepare it once and we can leave it for future batches to use as well. And I think the main point of what we have to do is to make sure that all our documentation is done really well, stored properly, the SOP, the procedures, things that we have to take note when organizing each event is laid down really clearly so that anyone else who takes up the role can transition into it really smoothly. And also, I think what we have to do is to try our best and do our best to make sure that we are the best, we can be the best that we can when we are being the School of IT representatives, so that we can inspire others in the future to take up the role and contribute to SOIT.
Yeah, and actually at first, like we didn't really know about the full responsibilities as a, but after the briefing with Diana, we really knew a lot more about it. So we will also continue doing this in the future.
Okay. Thanks for the response. So last question is, what do you think is expected of you being one of the front lines when it comes to student matters within SOIT?
All right. This is from what based on my understanding right now, as later on we'll have more training to allow us to have a better idea on this. So right now, what I understand is we have to have earlier information. We have to get information from both the staff, the students, and also understand the manner itself, as we will be responsible for leading the students through the procedures, leading the students through the hearing and everything, as we are responsible for it. So based on my understanding, this is really what we have to do, something that will occur once in a while, but we have to be prepared for it. It's something that will take time to learn and progress, but yeah, through trainings and whatnot, we'll be able to learn from it.
So actually, it's as a school representative, it's all about helping the students and benefit them. So if there's like any issues, we will definitely communicate with both parties, like students and the faculty. We'll also analyze the situation and also find the best solution to solve the issue.
Yeah, so we understand that we are the bridge between the staff and the students. So whatever the staff tells us, we have to convey to the students, and whatever the students have to say, we also have the responsibility to convey it to the staff. And besides that, it's just trying to take care of all the students, ensure their welfare, and try our best to upskill them through any workshops or events that we might have, and also to organize events to let them make the most out of their uni life.
Okay, yeah, I think that's all from us then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so once again, thank you so much for all the insightful sessions that are being discussed earlier. So now we'll proceed with a debate session between the two candidates, the two pair of candidates. So you guys have the chance to ask one another questions that you guys would like to challenge the manifestos or anything that is being brought out by the candidates. So you guys can start off first. I think we can start off with Jaden asking Tyler and Shuhui first. Would it be okay? All right. So you guys try to make the question as straightforward as possible, so that the other opposing candidates can get what you want to ask them straightforward.
All right. So I've heard that your workshops will be a lot of handheld events. So how will these workshops be different from the units where we are learning something instead of just being something that we learn in the unit and then just bringing those ideas and those knowledge to the workshop?
Well, usually in all our units, we usually learn about the theory stuff, but we didn't actually learn a lot about the practical stuff. So maybe we'll look for people that have maybe professionals or those seniors that have already done the internship to share their experience and maybe build some very simple projects as a start to introduce people to what they would do in the industry.
Yeah, because for me, I'm a year 2 semester student doing data science. I'm trying to find my internship right now, but I feel like first things first, I don't have a lot of projects, and I also don't really know a lot about data science, to be frank. Yeah, so there are lots of different aspects that are required by companies when they are looking for interns or like people who are searching for a job. So basic things like even Power BI, which is not even taught in school, which is a very essential part of being a data scientist. So like stuff like these, we'll try to find the topics that are not covered in the units, as we know, and organize workshops for these kind of topics that will be useful when finding a job.
Do you still have any other questions, Jaden?
Oh, so I can be asked.
Yeah, so for one question, you can have one follow-up question. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So after asking the question already, you can ask one more follow-up question if you want to. But if you don't want, you can ask another question to the candidates.
But as mentioned previously, right, you all mentioned about front end, back end, like those are things that we are able to learn in specific units. So are those just going to be scraped out of your list entirely, or you'll still hold them for possible students who don't know anything?
Yeah, so let's just relate this to something, one of the events that were just organized by School of IT, which is the C workshop. So something like this, up until now in year 2, there are not really many units that cover C. And things like what Xiu Hui previously mentioned, these topics are some that they are not fully covered in the units or not even covered in the units at all. But things like this, and something like I mentioned, Power BI, something like data analytics is so essential in data analytics, but not many people use them. So not many people learn about them in the units because it's not really offered. So by choosing units, by choosing topics that are actually useful to students in the future, then yeah, they can come and attend these workshops and learn more about these skills. And also, we previously mentioned about having personal project workshops. So organizing workshops for students to learn a little bit more about one language or another, and then they can go home and apply it more and build their own projects in the future.
Okay, so now Shuhui and Tyler, you guys can ask Jaden one question, and also if you want, you can also ask one follow-up question after that question as well.
So Jaden, in your manifesto, you didn't really actually mention a lot about career. So what do you have any plans on this career-related events?
Yeah, just now I mentioned previously on collaborating events where there will be workshops for specific things. Like again, School of Engineering, last year we had a workshop with them. this is something similar, so I want to include something different or something that I want to focus even more on rather than something that's already been done, tested, and showed that it's quite effective throughout the whole semester. Something that I can redo and just change it up a little, which is like career fair last semester. Something that I can redo again, especially when I've personally also made connections with some of the speakers there, which allows me to bring something to the table.
Okay, Tyler and Shuhui, you can ask one follow-up question if you have any. No? Okay, so back to Jaden. You can ask them if you still have any questions for them.
All right, so I'll have just this one final question. Based on what I've heard, both of you are well-versed in many different communities, many different responsibilities. How do we know that these responsibilities are something that is not going to affect you? And how is it? Are you going to drop any of these responsibilities for the role of school rep, as it might just bring attention to those other things specifically?
Yeah, so for me, before making the decision to run for school rep, I've clearly told myself that if I were to do this, I know it's going to be a tough job. So I really made up my mind to clear everything for the following year, except for one of the clubs that I'm still in. Yeah, and so my only responsibilities for next year, if we were to be the school rep, is just school rep and one club, and also my studies. Yeah, so I'll make sure to balance all of this really well by actually managing my time properly, and also, as mentioned previously, being school rep, we can minimize our load during the semester by planning ahead during the semester break.
As for me, I've actually started planning to run for school rep starting last semester. So currently in this semester, I'm taking all the core units. Therefore, next semester I will have less workload because I'm taking more of elective units, and I also have very good time management skills. So despite I have many responsibilities this semester, I'm able to do all of them well.
Do you have any follow-up questions? Okay, so Tyler and also Shuhui, you can ask Jaden if you still have any questions.
Yeah, I think that's it from us.
That's it from us, okay. All right, so now we open the Q&A session to the students that are with us today first, physically. So is there any questions from the floor that would like to ask the candidates? If you want, please raise your hand. We'll just direct the questions to them. Is there anyone from the floor who would like to ask the candidates questions? Yeah, we have live stream, but we will prioritize the physical one first. Is there anyone physically that would like to ask questions to the candidates? If no, we'll proceed to the live stream first, then come back to the physical. Is it okay? All right. So for live stream, there's one question to Jaden. So, hi Jaden. Since you have mentioned that you have planned to have an interim, which you have someone you prefer. However, the interim appointment will have to go through internal voting before an interim is appointed. Given that there's a chance that the upcoming interim may not be the one whom you prefer, how would you ensure that you would be able to work with the elected interim if he or she is not the one whom you have nominated? Okay.
So I've actually made this plan in mind where even if I'm running with the interim I want, we will have specific workload, specific tasks delegated to each other. So even if the interim is not someone I want, they have to understand what their roles are, what they are planning to do, and how they are supposed to support me and support each other throughout this whole thing. Where not everything is just, yeah, you are supposed to do this and I'm not supposed to help you. We are both actually still supporting each other, even though it's not someone I want. It's expected of me as the person running for this position.
Okay. All right. Is there any questions from the floor they would like to ask? Okay, sure, please.
Actually, I have a question regarding the handheld workshops that you suggested before this. Like could you hear me? Is it?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So you mentioned you hold it for various different topics, may React or whatever. But how are you going to determine which tech stack or part of tech stack are you going to hold in your workshop? Is it based on popularity? Because imagine let's say you hold a workshop for something that is more niche, you have to find a tutor or
Okay, just to confirm, this question is for?
Tyler's and
Chihui, okay, alright. So you guys can definitely think for a while first. Don't have to rush it. If you guys have answer, please, you can just proceed to answering the question.
I think we'll organize those like workshops based on popularities because like what is more popular in the industry. So because like only those that will be used in the industry will be more beneficial to the students. Yeah, and if actually no one attends, maybe we will have maybe a poll to ask the students on what types of things they want to learn more.
Yeah, so just we'll be researching into what are some topics that are more popular within the industry when they're hiring. So yeah, find those topics and also create a poll like Xiuhui mentioned to gather insights from the students on what kind of topics that they actually want to learn, like which field or which language in specific, and then choose the ones that are most popular and most desired by the students and then run those workshops.
All right, I hope that answered your question. Is there any other questions from the floor? Okay, please do it, Jackson.
Alright, so I heard a keyword that I pretty much endorse and I pretty much like, accountability. So in your role as a school rep, can you please define the definition of accountability?
This question is for?
For both.
For both. Okay, so Jaden, I think you can start first.
So to me, accountability is really just being responsible, being acknowledged for whatever you have done. Like example, I've mentioned everything in my manifesto. I'm expected and I held accountable to what I said just now. So this is what I think accountability is to me. And as my role, I know that we are the representative of students. We are also like the bridge between students and staff. This is a role we are held accountable to. We know the image we are bringing to students and staff too. Yeah, so this is what I think.
Yeah, so to me, accountability, so as School of IT reps, we are playing an important role in MUSA and also School of IT. So by accountability, to me, it means that we have to be someone that you can rely on. So we have to understand the responsibilities that are entrusted to us, and we must make sure to fulfill the expectations of others to fulfill all of these responsibilities. Yeah, and everyone is human, so we might make mistakes, but as long as we own up to them and we admit that we are wrong and we work on how we can improve ourselves and correct the mistakes that we made, then yeah, that is accountability to me.
All right, so is there any other questions from the floor they would like to ask the candidates? Yes, please.
I have a question for Jaden. Is that just now you mentioned that you will have event that is collaborating with engineering faculty. Do you have any other event in mind that you will collaborative with other faculty other than engineering?
Okay, so this question is to Jaden, right? I think I'll just repeat the question for the live stream audience. So the question is there any other plans in mind other than collaborating with the Faculty of Engineering? So this question is for Jaden.
All right, yeah. As I've mentioned previously, I'm now currently in a Equator's party. I have connections with people from different faculties. Example, I've actually been in a talk with someone who is planning to run for SOS rep since last semester. We have decided that it's possible to run distress night. Not as this year we are running with School of Engineering. It's possible to just run distress night with any possible departments who are interested. So, yeah, in this case, there is in mind School of Science for specific events. Yeah.
All right, so is there any other questions from the floor they would like to ask the candidates? All right, Jackson.
So how do you all intend to deal with the problem of resource scarcity?
Okay, I think this question, Tyler and Shuhui, you guys can answer first.
All right.
So the question, I think just to repeat, I'm so sorry, is how do you guys deal with resource scarcity?
Okay, so by resource scarcity, I'm assuming it means in terms of budget or financial budget, right?
Can be overall, can be your manpower, can be your budget, can be venue. Because when we talk about scarcity, that's in in your role itself, it's a very dynamic role where it involves a lot of planning and definitely comes in different stage. There's different scarcity that you want have to meet, you have to face. So I just want to know how do you intend to face scarcity like this? Have to make opportunity cost and everything like this.
All right, so maybe I'll break it down into a few aspects. So first, if we're talking about money, about financial, about budgeting, so I'm sure that there are records of previous events and breakdowns of the expenses of each event, or how much they will cost. And so, as previously mentioned, we will be trying our best to plan all of the events beforehand, like during the sem break. So we will analyze all the events that took place previously. We will take a look at how much they cost, where they were held, how much manpower is needed for each of those events. And before the semester even starts, we'll lay out a ground plan for all of these events and list out like how much money do we need, how much manpower do we need, and how much space or venue do we need. And as long as we prepare early, then I'm sure that we can secure enough, we can secure the venue. And for the money, as long as we budget properly during the planning, we can allocate enough budget to each event. And also, not all of the events have to be organized solely by us, because we can also collaborate with other clubs like MUMTech, who also have their own budget. So we can split the burden among MUMTech and also SOIT. And for venues, planning ahead. And for manpower, also, if we plan ahead and we know that the committee is not enough to provide enough manpower for this event, then we can open up slots for people who are interested to take up a role as a committee in this event.
Okay.
Yeah, so as what Tyler said, we will have a plan before the semester starts. And when the semester starts, we will also be finding our committees, right? So after that, we will also discuss with the subcommittee whether they think that our plan is doable and try to improve on our current existing plan.
All right. For my answer, is slightly similar, where advanced planning is definitely necessary. But in my case, I really emphasize a lot on collaboration, especially when SOIT have loads and close connection with MUMTech and GTSC that has built over the years. I feel like all these small things are required to share resources, share locations. Especially Hello Coders was an event that take up to 8 locations. These Hello Coders or Bike Buddies is held based on collaboration with MUMTech, which is something that can be done again and opens up a lot of possibilities on collaborating events, which I really emphasized on.
All right, so there will be one last question for each of you from the live stream. So I think we'll start with Tyler and Shuhui first. We understand that regardless of our position in MUSA, we are still students who have to study. Furthermore, SOIT has a high level of difficulty when it comes to this. Despite being a duo, there can be times where conflicts may arise when it comes to potential workload imbalances during some time in the semester. So I believe the question is to ask you guys, how do you guys deal with conflicts when it comes to potential workload imbalances?
So eventually the solution is just time management and planning. And usually for my subjects that I'm taking next semester, I will go through them and study all of them during the break. So I believe that it will be less workload when I'm learning them.
Yeah, and as SOIT reps, we understand that the burden is going to be a lot, but we don't have to deal with all of it alone. We still have a team of committees, team of subcoms that we can rely on, so we don't have to do everything ourselves. If the situation arises where we really do not have enough time to finish this task, we have our secretary, we have our treasurer, we have our team of committees that we can allocate tasks to help us complete everything on time. Okay,
and this question is for Jaden. For example, there's a conflict between students and staff for units like, correct me if I'm wrong, FIT 1055. How would you solve the question? Which side would you prioritize, since you say that you also face the same issue in the unit as well?
I will likely speak on personal experience. I am involved in a situation last semester where communication was all over the place, where Reddit has problems, emails has problems, and also there were problems in classes too. Yeah. So as a male rep, I'm responsible for the students. I have to help them communicate instead of them just bashing everywhere, all the locations. It's really important for me to speak up for the students instead of letting them speak up and possibly create a messier situation. So it's really important for me to show that there is someone responsible for that role and that position is filled, and I have to speak up for them. I have to communicate, have to discuss with the staffs. Yeah, so that's a responsible I'm held accountable to fill.
All right, so that is all for the Q&A session by the students. Now we'll proceed with the closing statement for each candidate. So for closing statement, please try to make it as straightforward and as short as possible to summarize all the contents that you have presented to the student community in your debating session today. So I think we can start off with Tyler and Shui first. Make it straightforward so that everyone knows what is the main thing that you'd like to present after the entire debating session.
Yeah, so in conclusion, Xiu Hui and I are committed to being the School of IT representatives, and if fortunate enough to be entrusted this position by the student body, we promise to do our best in creating an even better School of IT. And just to recap, our manifestos will be career development, networking opportunities, and also full support to all students.
Yeah, and we will do our best to support all students and foster a collaborative and supportive environment. Thank you.
All right. As for me, I just want to thank you, everyone, all the audience here, and Diana and Sheng Jie for letting me have this experience, letting me run for this position. Once again, my manifesto is mentioned multiple times in all the medias already: communication, collaborative, and competitions. So I hope to be able to work with everyone. Hope to be able to help serve the students here. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so that's the end of the debate session for the School of Information Technology representative. So for the live audience, the next debate session would be happening soon. So please make sure to tune in to another YouTube live stream when the debate is happening. So once again, let's give another round of applause to all the School of Information Technology representative candidates. Thank you so much, guys.